Hey, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm the Urban Seer, your guide to love, destiny and manifesting the life you desire. And in today's pick a card reading, it's all about unlocking your manifesting power and speeding up your results. So if you've been wondering why something hasn't arrived yet, you might be feeling stuck, frustrated, and you're wanting to know how to finally align with that one thing that your heart's been calling in. And this reading is here to help you to shift, release and receive. And to guide and anchor this reading, I've chosen the Magician as the deciding card from each deck. The Magician holds the energy of focused intention, manifestation and creative power, reminding you that everything you need is already within you. I've already pulled the cards as well and created the piles. So group number 1, this is the Mystic Fair Tarot deck. We have the Magician from there with these beautiful high vibrational pinks, blues, purples. Group number 2, we have the Every Little Thing You Do Is Magic deck. This lovely, cute little raccoon with all the Magician's tools set out here. And group number 3, we have the Guardian of the Night Tarot deck. Interestingly, also a raccoon with these beautiful magical colours and imagery. As usual, take a deep breath, tap into your intuition, which pile is calling for you. That is your reading. Remember, this is a timeless reading as well, so whenever you're finding it, trust that the message is right on time and meant for you. But let's get into it. You'll find the link to your reading once you've decided in the description box below. Love and light. Hey, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. You chose the beautiful Mystic Fair Magician, which we'll put to one side as we get into the rest of your cards. Placement number 1, which is what's blocking your manifestations, whatever you're currently trying to manifest, and like we touched on in the intro, feeling frustrated that it's not coming, wanting to bring it in quicker. This position reveals the internal or external blocks that are slowing down your manifestation. So this might include mindset, energy, fears or outside challenges. So let's get into it and see what we have. And we have the 9 of Wands. And what this card tells me, group number 1, is that you have been through a struggle, okay, a battle with this. Like you may have tried several attempts to reach this goal, to bring this in, and feel like that it's failed in a way. You haven't, but that's what it feels like, okay? It shows that you're in a place of emotional and energetic fatigue, and that you've been through some setbacks, repeated setbacks, where you've had efforts to manifest this thing and it didn't unfold the way that you had hoped. And there's just this general sort of sense of weariness with this card, which can even slip into defensiveness when we begin to close off and shut down. It's very natural, you know, I've experienced it, we all kind of experienced it, when it's almost feeling like abandoned by the universe, abandoned by spirit, or a lack of trust in yourself and your manifestation powers as well. That it obviously, if we feel like we're continuously like failing, then it will knock your confidence. And what it often also leads into, this experience, is we begin to hold on too tightly and we begin to brace ourselves for the next disappointment instead of being opening to receive. This card is often called the Wounded Warrior energy. And what it really asks us to do is this: we need to soften and we need to release the idea that it always has to be a battle and that it always has to be a struggle. Maybe to look away even from this manifestation, to distract ourselves, to look to bring in a sense of ease in whatever way that we can, if that's just carving out some time away from pushing for this manifestation. Okay, whenever we hear those words like pushing, forcing, then really that is a sign that we're moving further away. We're not helping our manifestations when we bring in this energy. But also with the Nine of Wands, it's important to say that, you know, this isn't over, because what comes after the Nine of Wands is the 10. So we're at, and the 10 is the pinnacle. We've reached the end of the line. We've actually achieved our goal. So what this says to me as well is that you're much closer to manifesting your goal than actually what it feels like. It probably feels like you're very far away from it now. And what you can't see is that you've actually these battles, these attempts and efforts have moved you forward, have moved you closer to your manifestation, and you're right actually on the cusp and on the brink. So do not give up now. This is the card to say to carry on. You know, we try to release and let go energetically, but don't let go of the dream, don't let go of the manifestation, because we are on the brink here. What comes next is the 10, and this is when we have achieved it. We've reached that goal. But it's a tricky time, because it's almost like when we hear that expression, it's always darkest before the dawn. So it's that moment of when we can give up and give in, because it feels kind of hopeless at the time, and we're worn out, like it says, the wounded warrior. So we must hold steady at this time, bring in a sense of ease where we can, but also hold and take the message that we are on the cusp and on the brink of reaching your manifestation, group number 1. So I hope that brings you hope, okay? And, you know, keep pushing, keep pushing. Second placement, let's move on to this, which is what you need to know or shift to align with your manifestation. So we've seen kind of the energy of what's blocking you. It's the frustration, it's the weariness, it's the defensiveness. This digs deeper into what we need to know to shift into alignment. What do you need to understand, release, and shift emotionally, mentally, energetically to align with your desire? Let's see what we have. The 9 of Swords, another 9, which is very interesting. Okay, the appearance of 2 9s is meaningful in numerology. Sorry, the number 9 represents completion, spiritual growth, and emotional release. So again, it reiterates that you're nearing the end of this cycle and closing in on your manifestation. So that is exciting to me, okay, to see these 2 9s side by side. Specifically though, going into this 9 of Swords, we can see this person who is stressed, okay, anxious. This manifestation is causing you angst, okay? But and it speaks of a cycle of worry, fear, overthinking, all that kind of energy. That is actually that anxiety and that fear. It is keeping your manifestation that bit out of reach, okay? And when, like I say, we've been manifesting for some time and it hasn't come in, it's only natural, it's so easy to sink into these feelings, these emotions, but we must ground ourselves, center ourselves, and resist falling into these kind of emotions, okay? You might be replaying worst case scenarios, you know, that this is never going to happen for you now, full of doubt. And also it can bring, sometimes this card can bring our worth into question. We may begin to feel unworthy even for our manifestation. So this card shows us that the mind is looping in fear. And this lowers your vibration in essence, okay, in outcome, and sends mixed signals to the universe. So what we must do is try to ground ourselves in whatever way we can. How do we stop these negative thoughts when it always starts with that thirst for, it's maybe we're settling down for the night, or it can hit us first thing in the morning. Those are kind of key times when these worries and fears can come to get us. Recognize the pattern of when this is happening and try to not buy into those thoughts. Try to break that cycle with whatever you can. Reading a book, watching a favorite TV show. It doesn't have to be something as holy as meditation and raising our vibration that way. Sometimes all we just need to do is distract ourselves, have a nice bath, have a nice shower, wash off that actively kind of wash off the anxiety and the fear of the day. That can be very helpful, just to try to catch those thoughts. So interrupt the cycle and be intentional about that. The Nine of Swords also has the message always, which I like to say, that the Nine of Swords says that these fears are unfounded as well. So it's when we've just fallen into that grip of fear and anxiety, and it is somewhat of an illusion. And then let's move on to the final placement, card 3, which is in the placement of what's ready to manifest when you do clear the path. So what's coming in, we get to glimpse the future. This card reveals the manifestation that it's already aligned with you, and when it does come through, what will it look like? That thing that you've been working so hard, group number 1, to bring in. What does it look like? The stunning, the beautiful Queen of Pentacles. How lovely to see this in this placement. This is a beautiful outcome card, okay? The Queen of Pentacles signals abundance, security, self-worth that's made tangible. This is you feeling at peace and comfortable with this manifestation that has arrived. It's like you've sunk into its energy and its beauty, if that makes sense, okay? It's like you've grown into it as well. You've aligned with a version of your life that feels calm, steady, prosperous. This is all the qualities, the beautiful qualities of the Queen of Pentacles, okay? Your needs are met, you're supported emotionally and materially. So it's whatever you've been manifesting, if it's career, if it is money, or it can be a relationship that makes you feel like this, okay? Stable, secure, nurtured, or like, career, financial stability, grounded relationship, all of this stuff. This Queen reflects manifestations that are nurturing and lasting. So what a beautiful energy to end on. Something to hold in your mind at this, what appears to be, you're kind of at the peak of frustration, anxiety, weariness. This is the image to hold in your mind. This is the energy to try to embody. Become the Queen of Pentacles now. Step into receiving mode. Okay, and what it says is, with the Queen of Pentacles, the message as well, that you're ready to embody abundance. No longer chasing it, isn't it? The Queen of Pentacles, she's not chasing, she's sitting pretty. She's surrounded by beauty and abundance. And this is you, group number 1. This is where you're going. And so try to embody that now, if possible, of when you can, and manage these struggles and anxieties in the meantime. You are closer than you think. You're on the cusp, in fact. So group number 1, that was your reading. I hope it resonated for you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Leave any comments down below which particularly sort of struck you and resonated for you. It's always great to get feedback from you guys. And please do consider subscribing if you haven't already as well, so you'll be notified for all future uploads. But wishing you all the best with your manifestation. Love and light. Hey group number 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the deck. Every little thing you do is magic. The Magician from there. This is such a lovely, unique and quirky deck. So let's get into it. I've obviously shuffled and pulled your cards already. Placement number 1. This is what's currently blocking your manifestation. Okay, group number 2, it drills into what's currently creating resistance, delay, or energetic misalignment for you, either internally or externally in the manifestation process. Okay, so let's see what we have as placement number 1. Interesting, we have the major arcana, the Star card. And at first glance, the Star card doesn't seem like a block, but in this placement, it reveals a subtle but powerful one, distance from your own hope and faith, because the Star card is all about hope, faith, spiritual connection as well, that I was interpreted as. So you have this strong manifestation, this beautiful dream, but something heartfelt that you may have been longing for a long time as well. But there's some distance here that maybe that's exactly what it feels like to you, a dream, okay? Almost like a fantasy quality to it. And you're not fully trusting that it can actually be yours, that this can actually be a reality, because the Star card has this yet magical quality to it, yeah? Otherworldly quality, that's the word that I'm looking for. Now, what it does tell me as well, the Star card, that this manifestation is divinely supported. It has the purity of the Star card, and it's your belief system that may be catching up with you, that may be slipping you up here, okay? You may be waiting too much, relying on looking for external proof and thinking that the 3D, giving too much weight and too much gravity to the material world, to the 3D. Allow yourself to believe. There's often that common sort of phrase around manifestation that it's okay to lean into delusion in some ways, like that fun expression of being delulu. And I do feel like for you, group number 2, that we need more of this. We need more faith. We need more fantasy. We need more belief. You need to allow yourself to truly believe. At the minute, there's this strong quality, of what's blocking you is that somewhere inside of you that you think it's a fantasy to this manifestation, and it's never actually going to come into fruition and come into reality. So that's something to really focus on. I would practice however you can, through visualization, through meditation, follow a guided one if that's easier, and practice on releasing some of that resistance, that doubt, that being almost too grounded, too heavy. If I can't see it, then I don't believe it. With manifestation, we have to turn that on its head, and we have to believe it to see it. Let's move on. Placement number 2. This is the position of what you need to know or shift to align with this manifestation, okay? We've seen what's blocking you, and now this digs deeper into what needs to be emotionally released or reframed so you can fully align with what you're trying to manifest. And we have the 8 of Cups. Now, the 8 of Cups is all about walking away from something that is emotionally unfulfilling. The 8 of Cups shows us that something, a habit, attachment, a relationship, or an outdated version of yourself needs to be left behind. Okay, and there may be a lot of fear, which is only natural, about letting go, okay, or about walking away from this thing, whatever it is, from this thing, from this person, from this feeling that needs to be released. So this is also feeding into blocking you, okay? Something or somebody is holding you back. And I think that you, group number 2, already intuitively know what that is. Like I say, be it a belief system, or it can be actual circumstances or thing that is kind of playing into, I feel like it's suffocating in you in some way. It's keeping you in this doubt. It's not allowing you to believe in bigger things, in magical things. It's kind of draining that energy out of you. So to truly manifest what you're calling in, you need to make some kind of peace with the fact that it won't look like the past. What has gone, something needs to change. This is what needs to shift. Maybe it's something that you've been trying to make work, and it's at that point where we need to face that it's not working, and it's become a drain. And to reinvigorate ourselves, we need to start something new and start something afresh and cut ties. So letting go isn't a failure, it's alignment. So that's a great phrase to kind of remember and to hold on to when we release this. Letting go isn't failure, it's alignment. And trust that walking away is a sacred act of making room, of holding space for what you really want, and for this thing that you've been longing for, this manifestation that you've hoping and longing for to come in. And let's move to the final placement number 3. And this is the placement of what we could take a glimpse of the future, okay? What's ready to manifest when you clear this path. This placement shows what's energetically ready to come into your life, what it will look like when you manifest what you're focusing on. And we have the beautiful 6 of Cups. This has a really, like I say, beautiful energy, a soulful energy that speaks of emotional warmth. It's full of nostalgia, this card, of joy, of reconnection and healing. So when I say nostalgia, like reconnecting to old parts of ourselves, reconnecting for some of you, maybe even with someone from the past, a person, a romantic relationship, a family connection. So it might be the return of a soul connection. For others, it's a signal of reclaiming some kind of more innocent part of ourselves that's connected to our creativity and emotional wholeness. Something that will make you feel more whole, group number 2, okay? Something that feels like home to your spirit, and this thing that you've longed for and perhaps forgotten. And there's a real sense of peace with this card as well. Can we see these 3 bears that are all sleeping peacefully together, feeling whole, like almost like a reunited family feeling. Yeah, when if you've been away for whatever reason, and then you come back home and you get into your own bed and your family is all under one roof, and that kind of sense of deep peace that brings. It's also very connected to this card, our inner child. So this manifestation that you're bringing through also feeds your inner child and restores that innocent sense of joy. So what a lovely energy to end on. Such peace, such innocence, such almost like the purity of this star card as well. And it's almost like needing that childlike belief to bring in that childlike joy and wholeness that this card has. Yeah. So group number 2, that was your reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Leave in the comments which part of this reading really spoke to you. It would be lovely to hear from you. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already, to be notified for all future readings. But wishing you all the best with your manifestation, group number 2. Love and light. Hey group number 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose the beautiful Magician from the Guardian of the Night tarot deck. with this lovely raccoon here, focusing deeply and intentionally on their manifestation. Let's see what the rest of your cards have to say. Placement number 1, which is this card, and this placement represents what's blocking your manifestation, okay? It reveals the main source of resistance or energetic block that's slowing your manifestation down, causing you this pain and frustration of it not coming through. It can be internal, so thoughts, beliefs, patterns, or it can be external, attachment, situations, influences, etc. Let's see what we have. Oof, and we have the Major Arcana, the Devil. This devil energy, okay, shows that something you're entangled with, and it's really draining your power and subtly dictating your manifestation energy. Now, you might be fully aware of this, group number 3 as well, and struggling to break free of this. Okay, it can be a toxic attachment to someone. It can even be an addictive habit. Or it can be a limiting belief about, often around when we see the devil, it kind of hits really deep. Okay, it goes deep about our self-worth, around success, or even a fixation on the how and the when of your manifestation, which is not a good place to dwell when we're trying to manifest something. Okay, if we get stuck on the how, the how isn't important. Okay, that's up to the universe. The how, ours is just to set the intention. The how we leave up to the universe, because there are so many infinite possibilities that we can't possibly imagine them. And the when, again, that is up to the universe, because there are things that are happening in divine timing that we might not be aware of. Certain things that need to be released, lessons that we need to learn before the when happens, okay? But this feels very much like it's all of that, but it also goes deeper than that, but like a situation that is draining you, and that there are maybe toxic people around you, or a toxic mindset about yourself, that you're not feeling good about yourself, and that your self-worth could be at quite a low. And there's also an element of fear-based control here, a tendency to over-identify maybe with material outcomes or validation, and you might be unconsciously giving away some kind of creative power here. It feels like about giving away your power to something that isn't good for you, in essence. So what do we need to do? We need to obviously try to detach from this. You may, or like I say, be well aware of this and had several attempts to try and detach from this. We just have to keep trying again and not give up. Okay, try to lean on spirit more, bring in that kind of faith, and give it what you can to the universe to help you out here. You may be feeling very alone with this as well, or even if you can seek more help as well in the day-to-day. Do we need to speak to a therapist about this? Do we have loved ones that are trusted, that we can confide in to seek advice? Are we isolating ourselves as well with this suffering? We need to, the main message here, group number 3, we need to reclaim our energy back. We are giving our energy away. So kicking off with some intense energies, intense messages here. Let's move on to the second placement, group number 3, which is what you need to know or shift to align with the manifestation. This kind of just digs into it deeper. We've seen what's the block, but how do we tell us more on how we can align, spirit? And what's the truth, the mindset, the energetic shift that we need to embody to realign with our manifestation and speed up at the arrival? The lovely, the beautiful King of Pentacles. Such an abundant card here. The King of Pentacles is calling you to embody a grounded energy, confidence, security, and leadership. It's telling us that you possess all these qualities, group number 3, and I feel like you probably lost touch with that. Maybe lost yourself to something, to someone. And this is a reminder of who you are. Your manifestation might be connected to money, stability, success. If it's a relationship, it's like a stable relationship. Consistency is what's lacking and what this manifestation will bring through, and what you're hoping will bring through as well. And the universe is saying you already have the makings of this within you. So you're a powerful player. Okay, you're a powerhouse energetically. You're grounded, you're stable, or you have the potential to be. So we're shifting the energy. So rather than chasing the manifestation out of fear, the devil energy, which is fearful, we step into the role of someone who's already capable, worthy, and abundant. So this is someone as well, the King of Pentacles, who some people look up to you, group number 3. People, they expect you almost to lead and follow. There are pressures that come with that, but ultimately this is who you are, this is what you're good at, and this is what we need to get back to. And remember that you're not with the devil energy sort of begging the universe to give you what you want. You're a co-creator, so you're doing this together. You have, again, about reclaiming your power, really. And remembering there in which this card, remembering your own value. So begin to make some grounded, strategic moves to come back to yourself, okay? And we're trying to release this scarcity thinking, and we need to start getting back in touch with our King of Pentacles energy, which is who we are, and begin to build a solid foundation. Reclaim our throne, group number 3. You know, you're a king. Doesn't matter about gender, you're a king. Let's go to the final placement, okay? This card 3, which gives us a glimpse into the future. This is what's ready to manifest when you clear the path here, okay? What will your manifestation look like when it comes through? So what's waiting on the other side of this shift? Oh, another major arcana, some heavy hitting cards here for you, group number 3. This tells me this is a really significant manifestation, what you're bringing through. So don't give up, don't let go of it. This you're working on something very important here. The Death card is a powerful message of transformation, rebirth, deep energetic renewal, okay? What's manifesting for you isn't just a single outcome, it's like a whole new chapter in your life. The Death card, once we've closed out what needs to be released, what needs to end, so pre-manifestation, okay, post-manifestation, we're actually emerging as a whole different version, a whole new version of ourselves, okay? So once you release the limiting beliefs or behaviors that have shown up with the devil, and we've stepped into the authority, the King of Pentacles energy, you're entering a cycle of change, a big shift. Can be a big shift in identity, purpose, or environment, like a move, a new job, a new relationship, whatever it is that you're trying to bring through. But whatever, like I say, whatever it is that you're bringing through, it will bring freedom, it will bring you more, even deeper back to yourself, and authenticity and growth, okay? It really reflects a lasting growth here. So it's a full energetic reset, no less. And one that makes room for powerful new beginnings for you, group number 3, okay? So we need to let go of the old. We need to draw a line in the sand of that, okay? Because what's coming is too big to fit into this past life, this past self. So yeah, you're on the edge of a massive upgrade, group number 3. Some powerful, let's say, some powerful messages here, but something does need to be released first. The devil highlights whether fear and control, still has some hold over you. The King of Pentacles is the mindset that we need to shift into, and your true capabilities and power. And then the Death card is the promise that once you can do this and make these shifts and let go, your life will be this new chapter will begin. Your life will be transformed in some way. There's a rebirth into something that is much more aligned and empowered with you. So there we go, group number 3. That was your reading. I hope it resonated for you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Please leave in the comments which bit what stood out to you, what struck you and resonated with you most. It's always great to hear and get feedback from you. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already, so you'll be notified for all future readings. But wishing you all the best and this manifestation to come swiftly to you. It seems very big. It seems very exciting. Love and light.